afternoon, everybody. This is Roy with Affordable Aviation. Today we're working on the Challenger a little bit. I've been kind of procrastinating because it's kind of like flying season up here. And I don't know if some of you guys saw or not, but I just recently purchased a 170B for an affordable price. And I'll just leave it at that. But I feel like we got a pretty good deal on it. We've been working a few of the bugs out. You know, it's an old plane, so figuring out what we're going to do moving forward with that plane. It's a very good plane, flyable, and you know, it's just got some of the original avionics in it, so I'd like to upgrade and all that stuff. So, but again, this is affordable aviation, not being broke all the time aviation, which is seems to be more my speed. But anyways, working on the Challenger today. One of the things that I've run into is when I took the fabric off of the wings, and I'm trying to get my angle right here. It's crazy. I'm looking directly at the... Anyways, took the fabric off of the wings, and it left behind a lot of... it looked like a really thin layer of fabric in some places. You know, there was obviously some of the glue that was left behind, which I'm not as concerned about. Initially, I was taking a knife and just kind of scraping it off. And I finally just got the bright idea to just get my sander out, my little hand sander, and put some heavy grit sandpaper on there, and it seems to be working quite well. Let me flip the camera around and I'll show you what we got. Yeah, so this is what we're working with here. And you can kind of see where we've been sanding those rough areas right there. Try to focus in. That's just sanding marks there. But I'll show you over here on this other wing what we're running into on it. I don't know when this thing was last covered, but this is what we're dealing with is stuff like this. A little bit of surface corrosion in some areas. I don't see anything that I'm overly concerned about. But anyways, here we go. See, we got some of the old fabric on there. And just trying to clean everything up. This stuff here actually will peel off. But once you do, you'll find other stuff in there that needs to be cleaned up. So that's what we're focusing on today. And trying to get this old girl flying again. I think it's going to be a little while because we got other projects that we're working on as well. Those of you might have been following around on the Merlin GT. I thought I had it sold. I was going to sell the Merlin and use that money to upgrade some of the stuff on the 170B. However, we did a pre-buy. Some young man was going to buy the plane. Did a pre-buy on it. Of course, I was selling it as a project still because I hadn't put the brakes and everything on yet. But anyways, we found some metal in the engine. And I think, let me show you what we got here. When I first bought that plane, so yeah, we were trying to see if the engine was still viable. So we were trying to crank the engine, and the starter gear kept clanking up pretty bad. I piddled with it for 30 minutes or so, and I was like, all right, that's enough. The engine was turning, but it's like the starter didn't want to engage, and it was sounding pretty bad. So let me show you, once I pulled the starter, this is what we found. So these are the gears that's the one that goes directly to the starter. That's the Bendix, they call it. That's the gear on the end of it. So it just eat that gear up. And this is the gear that it engages to. And that's what we found there. So I ended up buying I guess, salvaged starter from another engine that was in really good shape. I took the gears off and everything, put the other starter on, changed that gear out, and I flushed the motor. I thought maybe we probably had everything out of there, but apparently we did not, because when we did the pre-buy on it, we pulled the screen and there was a bunch of metal in it. I think it was residual metal from that incident, but I told the young man I'm not going to sell him the plane in that condition, so I'm going to tear that engine down, see what we got, which probably is not a bad thing, because You know, I told you guys that plane's paid for. I didn't really pay a whole lot for it. So, you know, and it's set probably for 15 years without ever starting or getting annualed or anything. So, you know, we went through the engine, got it all cleaned up, and you know, it was running great, but that metal, I'm assuming, was somewhere in that engine, lodged around in there, and we weren't able to get to it. So I'm just going to bring it home. I'm going to tear the engine down, completely tear it down. I'm going to have everything looked at, basically do an IRAN on the engine, which I personally think the engine's probably in pretty decent shape. It's just got 1,200 hours on it, but in the interest of, you know, staying alive and stuff like that, we're going to go ahead and tear it down, have everything inspected, and then we'll fix what needs to be fixed, and probably have the cylinders redone and put it all back together. And so I think I'm probably just going to end up keeping that plane just because it's paid for. It doesn't cost anything but gas and oil to fly that rascal. So I put a lot of work into it. I really don't want to sell it, but then again, you know, it's an asset. It's money in my pocket I could have used for the 170B to fix it up, because that's ultimately, you know, that's a great plane to have up here in Alaska. They really are sought after planes. So eventually I'd like to fix it up a little bit. But anyways, focus today is the Challenger. So we're going to work on these wings here a little bit, and maybe we can get something done eventually, because I'd love to get this thing back up in the air too. Sometimes I question my decision of stripping these wings down to recover them. But as I knew it, you know, it takes time. I got all the fabric and stuff. I'm going to have to buy a little bit more chemicals and stuff, but I already got the fabric sitting here. But it's just going to be a process. And now I've got the Merlin to do too, so I'll have something to do all winter, it looks like. Anyways, y'all stay with me, and I'll try to give you some updates on the Challenger, which I have to say the Challenger is probably my favorite airplane, surprisingly. Out of all the planes I have, or have had, I'm sorry, this is probably my favorite. I think the best flight I ever took was in the Challenger. And they're just so cheap, they're so simple, and they're so versatile. I really want to get this thing set up. I really like this thing. It's got a great engine on it. You know, I kind of redid the panel. I do plan to rewire it again, and I'm going to redo the bungees on the back 40 gear, because they're a little springy. And we're going to tighten them up a little bit, put some new bungees on, because they've been on there for God knows how long. So anyway, stay tuned. I'll update as I have updates to update. And we're going to continue to work on this a little bit today, because I don't really have a whole lot going on. And yeah, so I'll see you guys soon.